I am the video game Plate Doctor. I'm here for one thing, and one thing only. To revisit old games from my past. Games that I remember very fondly from my childhood. From my favorite era of video games. The PlayStation 1. The first game I've chosen on my long list of games on the PlayStation 1 is 3D Lemmings, a 3D puzzler developed by Clockwork Games and published by Psygnosis. Psygnosis was a well-known publisher back in the glory days for PlayStation 1. What puzzles me, however, is the developer is not DMA Studios. The creators of the original Lemmings and the Grand Theft Auto series. Who in the world is Clockwork Games? All I found on Clockwork Games is a very small library of games that developed like Rush Hour, Enemy Infestation, Vanishing Point, and Gummy Bear's Magical Medallion for the Wii. Okay. Speaking of gummy bears, the game features Jelly Belly, the original Jelly Bean. Get your fill, gentlemen, even though you never see Jelly Belly beans in the entire game. But hey, 3D Lemming acknowledges an existence to sweet canning to rot your teeth, or beak. The menu is very 90s, giving you, the player, enough options to sift through. Nothing much to explain here but to play, which brings us to the practice screen, which is detrimental to learning to play the game. If you do not learn what actions the lemmings can do in-game, the hazards they face, and obstacles in their way, well my friend, you will be stumped. Also, you can abuse the voice sampling in the menu. First is the blocker. Easy to understand, pick a lemming and the lemmings will go in the opposite direction. Next is the turner. Use turner to direct lemmings to go into another direction. However, I got confused at first. You have to designate the arrow where the lemming tells the others to go by having your cursor under or over their head. It is strange and takes time to get used to. By the way, the controls are very strange. I won't get into it, but believe me, this is before the DualShock. Bomber gives a lemming a 5-second timer before it explodes, which has the ability to destroy the environment. The 5-second timer is tricky to get down, but thanks to the tutorial, an arrow tells you where to use it. Thankfully, being dummy proof. For me. Next is Builder. Select your lemming, and he will build upward with a series of platforms. Pretty self-explanatory. Basher will make your chosen lemming bash through a solid block. However, the lemming has to literally be almost hugging the wall, or he will ignore the command and walk in the opposite direction. Miner will dig underground and under a platform in a vertical declination. This is when you want your lemmings to go down. Yeah, that is it. Digger, the same as Miner, except your lemming does it with his bare hands, going straight down this time. Climber will make your lemming, or lemmings, climb walls, like Spider-Man. Floater will make your lemmings float to safety with an umbrella. If they fall too great a distance, they will die. The virtual lemming feature allows you to see through the eyes of your chosen lemming. You can also command your lemming while you're through its eyes. Really neat feature. The highlight lemming feature allows you to pick a lemming among a collage of lemmings. This is a useful feature, but I don't know how many times this becomes useful in later parts of the game, to be completely honest. Deflector block. It just directs your lemmings without the turner command. That's really about it. Mud. Guess what happens if a lemming falls in it? My guess is drown. One-way block. I don't get the purpose of these blocks. I honestly don't. Just go in a direction the block says, I guess. The splitter block makes your lemmings go in the opposite direction when they enter it. Alrighty? Slippery block makes your lemmings slide across ice, as ice technically should function as such. The rope slide. Your lemmings go down on it in a fun fashion, but increasing their spawn in time makes them die, since I guess they are polite and refuse to grab hold of the rope unless the lemming ahead is off the rope slide. The catapults. They launch your lemming far across the map. Trampolines makes your lemmings go bouncy, 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 bounce, bounce. Bouncy, 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 bouncy. I'm out of shape. The teleporter just teleports your lemmings. And after you do all the tutorial levels, you graduate and now can safely play the game. Now from what I remember as a young child, this game was very difficult. But as an adult, the levels are real brain teasers. Also quite fun for a game not made by DMA Studios, known today as Rockstar North. Even though the reins were given over to a different company, I have to say that this is not a bad game at all. The sound effects can get rather annoying as the lemmings talk over one another, creating this screeching sound which I cannot stand. The controls are just freaking weird all around. The R1 button is the use button, and holding L1 lets you turn your camera. The triangle, circle, cross, and square buttons is to further operate your camera position by a Z and Y axis. Confused? That's why I cannot explain it fully unless you experience these awkward controls for yourself. Also, you can raise the difficulty in the options menu and skip ahead to level 62. And, nope. Not good enough for this. Just look at this level. Wow. Just how? This is mayhem difficulty, by the way. I've got no clue what I'm doing here. My verdict here is, it is not a perfect game in any way, but it is a decent puzzle game on the PS1. I have fond memories of this game. It's a strange one for sure, but it does have charm. And I am the video game Quake Doctor. Hopefully next time, we'll see each other again. But until next time, farewell.